Let's do this. The Cult of Hockey podcast by the faithful and for the faithful. I'm David Staples of the Edmonton Journal, and I'm here today, Bruce McCurdy. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, David, how are you doing today?
Good. Really good. I was at the game,
Hmm.
4-0 for the Oilers over Vegas in a huge game. Yeah, my son Jack is in from town from Victoria, so we went,
Oh, yeah.
and he will vouch for me. He said, "Who do you think's going to win?" I said, "I think the Oilers will win." I did have that sense they were going to win, just because they're the better team, I think, than Vegas right now.
Hmm.
The better team, and I think they demonstrated that today. Although it could have gone a different direction if not for the play of a certain Oiler who we're going to be getting to right away. Bruce, this is our two good things, two bad things, and two numbers podcast. We'll do two good things each because it was a big Oilers win, 4-0.
It was.
Did you finish the grade 8 shots? Do you know what
Yeah, well, I've got them all written down, but I haven't added them
them?
up yet because I'm just
Okay,
entering the
gotcha.
document as we go right now. But
Okay, gotcha.
I think Edmonton had the edge overall,
Yeah, it
but
was pretty close.
it was fairly close. Yeah, shots on net were 39-36 for Vegas, so not exactly it didn't seem to be a lot of room out there, but they sure were getting pucks on net.
Yeah, huge win, Bruce. Huge win. Okay, what is your good thing? Let's just get right at it.
Okay, well, I got to go with netminder Mike Smith. 40-year-old netminder, seventh in NHL history, apparently, at that age to record back-to-back shutouts. And I bet you, without knowing any of the details, I could probably name you 4 or 5 of the others. But anyways, let's stick to Mike Smith, who I thought had a really solid game. He seemed to be in command of uh, his own positioning. He was strong. He was in good position. He was confident. His puck handling was solid. Nothing spectacular this game, but what he really did well was cut out a couple of dangerous passes around the net. He picked one off with his stick, another with his glove, and a third time he poke checked a guy that was trying to work his way out in front after a wraparound. So he put out a couple of fires in different ways other than stopping the puck. And when it came time to actually stopping the puck, he faced 39 shots and he stopped them all. So little bit lucky. One occasion he was trying to field a long bouncer and it kind of leaked through him, and a guy had a swat at a puck in midair that would have been embarrassing, but he missed it too. It was a hot potato of a puck,
Oh, he missed
and
that one. I couldn't tell.
yeah, it kind of leaked through Smith to the side, and the Vegas guy was coming right in on him. Usually those bouncers, the goalies come out like that, and there's no one near him, but this guy was flying in hard, and he had a swat at it and missed it as well, and it wound up being nothing. But that was, when you talk about lucky, I mean, one shot hit the post. But otherwise, I just thought Smith was good. I thought he fought for finding the rebounds and he froze the puck at the right times and he kept it moving at the right times. And it's hard to find much of a flaw in that game, which was Oilers' first home shutout in 2.5 years. Oddly, their last 6 shutouts have all come on the road, including one last game.
Smith was good. And
Mhm.
and it's not only that he was good. He's looked healthy, Bruce, for the
Mhm.
first time in the all year, maybe since the start of the year. I don't even know if he looked that healthy at the start of the year. But he didn't look like one of his legs was about to fall off, between whistles. He
Right.
wasn't stretching it out like it was, it had
Mhm.
been shot through with pellet or something. Like he looks like he did last year, like he's comfortable in the net, confident in the net, and ready to make some saves. So, we've seen in the past some of these old goalies. They have good seasons and they have good playoffs. So this is what I'm hoping. This is the Ken Holland graybeard strategy, and Mike Smith right now is making Ken Holland's patience look fantastic. I have to say, because most, let's face it, more than 90% of Oiler fans just 2 or 3 weeks ago were ready to run Smith out of town to Bakersfield. And he has come back and just keeps getting better and better. And the last 2 games have been his best games of the year, obviously. 2 shutouts in a row. So good for Mike Smith. Bruce, my good thing is going to be Warren Fogle. And
Mhm.
this is partly kind of confirmation bias on my part, perhaps, but today I wrote a piece. Who are the dark horse candidates to be heroes down the stretch driving in the playoffs? And my number one candidate that I wrote in the story was Warren Fogle. And I said that because according to our grade A scoring chance numbers, how we measure the game and the players who makes a contribution and who makes a mistake on them, Fogle has actually been performing at a fairly high level all year long. He's not up there. Puljujarvi and Hyman are quite a bit ahead of all the other wingers, but Fogle's the next best winger. And according to this one metric, he's performing at a level that's really similar to Yamamoto and Kane at even strength, Evander Kane, since Kane got here. So he hasn't been giving much up defensively. He's a solid defensive player, but he also creates a lot on the attack, often by taking that puck hard to the net. And there is kind of a stuff shot quality to a lot of his grade A shots. He's in tight. There's not a lot of room to make a move, but he is in tight and he's slamming it at the goalie.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, in my piece, I didn't look at his career shooting percentage, but this year he's got a really low shooting percentage. Yet his shots per game are pretty high. His shots per game are like a second line NHL forward, but his shooting percentage is like a fourth line NHL forward. So he's been getting lots of shots, not a lot of them going in. He's been getting a lot of grade A shots. He's been manufacturing a lot of grade A chances. So for those reasons, I'm thinking like Ken Holland said it about Jesse Puljujarvi the other day. You don't worry about a player when he's getting grade A shots. His luck's going to change. And in terms of dark horse forwards who are going to come through the orders, I thought, well, the two best bets here to surprise us, like to be a dark horse, you have to be something of a surprise, right? Connor McDavid can't be the dark horse on the team because he's the horse. But Fogle and Puljujarvi, and I just thought Fogle, he's at the top of my list, and he had that kind of game today. He was driving all game long, driving hard. He was integral on the first goal. I haven't watched the replay, so I'll let you describe it in a second. Yep. But on the second where he scored, he just went down the ice. And my daughter, who was sitting next to me at the game, said, "Was that Connor McDavid?" I mean, so that's how good he looked on that rush. He just swooped in there and slammed in the puck. Hell of a play by Warren Fogle. And the other reason I like him for the playoffs and down the stretch is he's big, he's fast, he's physical, he's defensively responsible. So all he has to do is get hot, score more than on those chances he's been getting, and he's suddenly going to look a lot better to everybody. And I think that's how he's starting to look right now.
Sure, looking a lot better to me, David. And it's hardly just today. I'd say the last 3-4 weeks. Yeah, he's been catching my eye just about every game. He's so aggressive on the puck, and he's winning so many puck battles. And he's doing it in the offensive zone, but he's also doing it in the defensive zone and making mostly responsible plays. Every once in a while he messes up, but he's he's kind of a simple, straight ahead player in a sense. Like he's not often going to beat you with guile, but boy, he'll beat you with effort and with physicality, which he's starting to show more of. And sometimes it's hitting, but sometimes it's just winning the puck battle and going in there and being strong on the puck and coming away with it. And on the first goal, we saw a little bit of both. Way down in the offensive corner, there was a puck that was up for grabs, and Fogle knocked some Vegas guy on his butt and came away with the puck. And the first chance didn't materialize, but then there was a little bit of a weak clearing play, and Fogle was able to keep it in at the blue line. And he made the pass to Ryan McLeod. And he caught McLeod high in the slot, kind of in a 2-on-1 situation. Then McLeod passed off to Cassian at the side of the net, and he held the puck, and he held the puck a little more, and then he held it a little longer than that, while everybody in the place sounded like was going, shoot! And then he didn't shoot, but in fact, he after his chance to shoot was gone, Cassian recovered nicely by making a good secondary play of passing back to Chris Russell, who snuck in and did shoot and score. And that was the 1-0 game-winning goal. So no point for Fogle. I mean, officially it's Russell from Cassian and McLeod. But you can bet there's 4 guys named in our scoring chance summary, and Warren Fogle is one of those guys because he made the big play, actually 2 different ones, to establish that possession and then to keep it in and make a good pass that set up the chance.
Bruce, what is your second good thing?
Yeah, my second good thing is I'm just going to go with the foot soldiers, of which Warren Fogle is a shining example, but far from the only one. This was a game where the Oilers got 0 points from Connor McDavid, 0 points from Leon Draisaitl, and relatively uh, uh, little that's, they weren't dominating the game offensively. I thought both guys were fine, had strong defensive games, both of them. But their lines weren't making a huge amount happen offensively. And yet in there, the Oilers found enough scoring to score 4 goals. Chris Russell, Cody Ceci, 2 defensemen scoring. Then Fogle on that beautiful unassisted play where he picked off the pass inside his own blue line and just beat everybody with speed, including the goalie on the deke. And then finally, hey, look at the last goal is now formally credited to Ryan Nugent Hopkins
Oh
for
yeah,
Derek Ryan. Look at that.
Kane.
No Kane. Originally, I thought Kane had banged in, but Nugent just kind of lobbed one into the goalie, and he had all kinds of trouble with it. Nugent made a real nice rush and just shot it in tight to the net. And the Vegas goaltender Logan Thompson was unable to contain it, and then eventually the puck went into and out the back of the net because the net got tipped up. There was a little bit of traffic there. Kane was responsible for that. And a shorthanded goal, Edmonton's 11th, I think they said, of the season. And they also said in the last 12 games, Edmonton's penalty kill has scored 3 goals and given up 2. How's that? When your
Wowza.
penalty kill is outscoring the other teams over a stretch of games of that length. And they had a very good game today, killing off 3 for 3 and creating a couple chances and eventually, getting that. It was kind of a sleazy goal, but they got it by hard work. And really, I thought up and down the lineup, the third and not even the fourth line, but the bottom 5 forwards, I thought for the most part they all played really well, and Coach Woodcroft did a good job of getting them all in and active in the game. Everyone over 10 minutes except Brian McLeod, who played 8:50. And that was a solid team effort. So kudos to the whole team. That's my other good thing.
I'm going to go with the veteran defenseman. It was interesting to be. I was sitting high in the corner, which is my favorite place to watch an Oilers game from.
Yeah.
Because you can really see the positional play of the players.
Yep.
And get a sense of that aspect of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And very rarely was an Oilers defenseman out of position in this game. There was a few instances where it happened, but by and large, by and large, they did a very good job. And I thought a couple players stood out in this. There's Chris Russell, who's always in defensive position, but Cody Ceci, I just thought played just such a sound game on defense. He's just, I know he had the reputation of being kind of a runaround guy in Ottawa, maybe even Toronto, certainly in major junior hockey. But man, he just is settled down and is playing such steady, smart hockey. He scored a fantastic goal there. I mean, that was a total eclipse of the sun screen by Jesse Puljujärvi on that one. So fantastic play by Jesse, but a great shot from a player. Initially, I did too. I don't know. Maybe he did.
No, the other guy did. For McNabb, was it, that was trying to deal with Puljujärvi, and he was trying to lift his stick, and it hit the shaft of McNabb's stick and went down and in. So it worked out well.
Did. There you go.
Yeah.
So Ceci was in position all game long. He really was, and he's just. And I think that is his game. He's not the biggest guy, the fastest guy, the most skilled guy, but he's kind of big, fast, and skilled. But his positional game is exceptional at this point. And this is turning out to be an exceptional, at this point, top pairing defenseman who's getting the job done, generally speaking, an exceptional value contract from the Edmonton Oilers for Ken Holland and the Oilers. I also thought that Duncan Keith had a fantastic game. He is still, and what impressed me, Bruce, was how fast that guy is. At his age, getting around the ice. I don't know, what is he, 39 now? Flying around the ice like he does.
Always been a great skater.
It is really impressive to see the physical condition of him that he can still keep up. And it's very encouraging because the Oilers have all these guys, Nugent, Hopkins, Hyman, Nurse now, who are in their 20s but are signed into their mid 30s. And having Keith there as an example of how to stay in shape, how to stay fit, how to probably eat right, how to do everything right, to be properly dedicated, to maintain your game, that might go a long way. And some of these other players, they're already figuring out. I mean, all of these players have, have fantastic training regimen, but not every player does last as long as Duncan Keith. And it's partly because his levels, he's way higher than everyone else at the start.
Coming
he's a Hall of
down
Fame
from
defenseman. So everyone drops 20%. When an average player drops 20%, this is an old Bill James thing. When an average player drops 20%, he's out. When a superstar drops 20%, well, he can hang on for 5 more years. So that's part of what's happening with Keith. But I think that's what got me was he is a water bug out there skittering all over the ice, and he can be overpowered. He in plays, we've seen that in the past. He and Bouchard can make bad decisions. We've seen that in the past, but not this game. I thought they were both really good, and Keith especially played a sharp game. Was moving the puck well. He was really off his game against the Wild.
Tuesday.
He had a terrible game.
In that game.
That happens to players. Happens to defensemen. Happens to you make a mistake and then you make I think even though he's a Hall of Famer at his age, I think any player can get a little rattled. So, and then when you have a big forechecking team who's really on its game, it compounds, and that's what happened against the Wild on Tuesday. But since then, he's played 2 really solid games in a row. So that's very encouraging. So that's my second good thing is the play of these veterans. CC, a much younger veteran, and Duncan Keith, and Darnell Nurse, who I thought was also really strong and solid in this game. So good to see. We need the Oilers. The Oilers need that.
Yeah, I had only one bone to pick with Duncan Keith's game today, and it came in the last 5 seconds of the second period, when it seemed like the period was going to run out with Oilers leading 1-0, and Nashville was starting from their own end with 10 seconds left, and Bouchard got beat in the neutral zone. The puck went into the corner, and Keith started to go into the corner, and then he stopped, and he was in no man's land, neither on the puck nor on anybody coming up the slot. And sure enough, the pass into the slot. Draisaitl hauls ass all the way back, lifts the guy's stick with 1 second left on the clock, and no shot. That would have been a devastating goal to allow, and it was a little bit just carelessness, I thought, by the two. They just didn't. They thought there was less time on the clock than there was, maybe. But that's picking one bone out of what was a fairly solid overall body of work. 7 block shots for Duncan Keith in this game, and he was. Like I say, his skating's good, and puck doesn't stay on his stick long, eh?
Does not. He reads the play so well and moves the puck quickly. He's an exceptional passer still. Bruce, what is your bad thing?
Yeah, I'm going to single out one play, and it wasn't even a play because nothing really happened. There was 6 minutes to go in the third period. Oilers comfortably in front, 3-0, lining up for a face-off in the neutral zone. I think it was like 4th line against 4th line. I mean, it was Zach Kassian against Keegan Colasar. So, I mean, we're not exactly talking about the top scorers on either team. And they started talking on the face-off circle, and Kassian off the face-off circle with Edmonton basically just needing to play smart hockey down the stretch. Don't do anything dumb. Don't take a dumb penalty. Well, Kassian brought his stick up once. He brought it up twice. He brought it up a third time. The third time he smashed Colasar in the face and took a high sticking penalty. Like, what is that? I mean, they didn't score on the power play, but if they do, now there's like 5.5 minutes left, and it's 3-1, and I mean, just don't do stupid stuff like that. And I mean, I'm not saying he's a stupid guy or player, but that was a dumb play.
Well, he's now playing before the full house, Bruce, so he's fired up.
Yeah, well, and he had a really good game. Like, I'm not going to give him a failing grade or anything, but he's going to get docked a full point for that, because that was just careless and not very team oriented.
Yeah, I agree.
Like that, he had a little issue with Colasar. Hit the guy, rub him out along the boards. You'll get your shot.
Game management. I agree. Bad game management, and there's no other way around it. I was thinking, okay, what is my bad thing going to be? Because it was kind of hard. So there was 3 things in the running. There was that play. There was Kane not scoring because it deprived
Oh.
McDavid of a point in this now tight scoring race with Jonathan Huberdeau. McDavid's only 2
Mm-hmm.
points ahead last
Huberdeau's
time I
got
checked.
2 games in hand.
Yeah. So there was that. But then the thing I arrived at is my bad thing is the fans, and including me. This is including me.
Uh-oh. Really?
We're sitting there in the arena. Cassian gets this pass from Ryan McLeod, and he gets it. Everyone's yelling, "Shoot, shoot!" And you've described the play already. Shoot, shoot. He doesn't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't shoot. Instead, he passes it back to Russell for a beautiful goal, like just a fantastic play. And it just got me thinking, if he hadn't made that nice play, we would have been all over that guy. We would have been we wouldn't have heard the end. He wouldn't have heard the end of it all, till the next game, right? People were like, what was Cassian thinking? What was he doing on that play? Well, maybe he was thinking he didn't have a great shot. Like he could slam it at the net, which isn't, as we know, it's never a terrible idea to slam it at the
Mm-hmm.
net. Good things can happen, as Ryan Nugent Hopkins found out when he lobbed the puck at net on the shorthanded play. Nonetheless, um, I do think the fans aren't always right. We weren't right about Mike Smith 3 weeks ago
Mm-hmm.
when we wanted to run him out of town. And we were, all of us yelling shoot at the arena tonight. We were dead wrong. We couldn't have been more wrong. Well, in theory, I guess he could have shot and scored. Then we would have been proven right. But sometimes the players know best. Sometimes the guys on the ice have a clue. And it's good for us to be humble and know that. And to remember when we get it wrong, collectively, especially when it's just about everybody watching on TV and at the rink yelling shoot. Um, Sometimes the players can figure it out and they get it right. So
Well, if he shot when the fans told him to shoot, he would have scored, right?
there you
But
go.
I thought he kind of froze, and then he made a great recovery. Like once he didn't pull the trigger, the right play was then to feed it to someone in a different position, and he did that nicely. And Chris Russell came up and
Yeah.
saw the chaos and jumped into the slot and made the shot.
So great to
So,
see Chris Russell score.
mhm.
And Cassian was sure happy about that.
Yeah.
Bruce, what is your number?
Well, my number does have something to do with Chris Russell. My number is 1,126. That was the number of days since the last time Chris Russell scored a goal in the NHL. It was March 17th, 2019. It was against the Vegas Golden Knights, and it was in Vegas, T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. I was there. My wife Ann and I attended that game on the Air Canada fan flight. So got the great opportunity to go on the road, and Krusty scored early in the third period to cut the Vegas lead to 4-3 in a game that home team would ultimately win 6-3. But just off a shot through traffic off the boards that time. And it's been a long, long, long 3 entire seasons. Of course, none of them have been complete seasons, and Russell himself doesn't play all the games because he gets nicked here and there. And the last couple of years, of course, he's been on the cusp of 6-7 defenseman, but he plays his games, he gets his chances, and today he converted one. And if his career is winding down, which I'm starting to get the feeling, he played his 900th game this year, and I'll be surprised if he gets to 1,000, to tell the truth. But he may be able to hang around for a while. But you can see the end from here, and it's nice that he's not going out with like 3 0-goal seasons in a row. Like he actually scored, and it wasn't just a goal; it was a winning goal and a hugely significant uh, game against an arch rival late in the regular season. So it was it wasn't just like the last goal he scored in a losing effort. This was the game winner. So good on you, Chris Russell.
Graybeard's coming through, Bruce. All right. My number is, and this is another Graybeard statistic, it's
Mm-hmm.
0.911, 0.911. And this is Mike Smith's current save percentage after 25
Like
games.
that.
This is a miracle. Like this is a miracle. Okay. This is a miracle. He was hanging out at what 890 all year, like or in that territory. He was like when you looked at the goalies who had played, more than 10 games in the NHL, he was like 58 out of 66 all year long. Bruce, he's now in terms of goalies who played more than 20 games. He's now 21st overall with this 911 save percentage. This is an
Wow.
astonishing run of play for Mike Smith. I don't know if on Hockey Reference I can. No, they haven't updated yet, so we can't give you
No, they
what
updated
his save
all
percentage is on that run. But again, going into the year, I was thinking they got Smith, they got Koskinen. Koskinen's had a good year 2019-20. Smith had a good year 2020-21. Between those two goalies, one of them is going to have a good year, I thought. So the Oilers are going to be okay in net, was my thinking. It really wasn't the case. It never felt okay. It's starting to feel okay because they have, I think, a clear starting goalie in Smith, and they have a solid backup to him and Mikko Koskinen. And Smith's puck handling, when you're, and again, I don't know what it's like on TV, but when I was there today, like it is exceptional how he controls the game with that puck handling, going behind the net, calmly making plays and igniting the Oilers' attack that way. And then when he's also making saves in net, looking healthy, looking good, looking confident, he fires up the team. He fires up the fans. I like my daughter who doesn't watch Oilers games. She's a hockey player, but she doesn't watch hockey. At the end of the game, I said, "Who's your favorite player?" Well, Mike Smith. He got a new fan today, and he's earning it. It is a remarkable story. It is the comeback of the season within the season, because he looked like he was done. And now he's tied save percentage with Jack Campbell, Capo Kakkonen, who everyone was mad the Oilers didn't yet. He's tied with Connor Hellebuck. He is ahead of Marc-Andre Fleury at 910 save percentage. He is Sergei Bobrovsky of the what is he, $100 million a year goaltender for the Florida Panthers.
10 million, but yeah.
He is at 912. So this is, and if you went just in the last month, Smith would be in the top 5 goalies in the league.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Well, in his last 5 games, April 3rd to today, so that's under 2 weeks, 5-0, with like a 0.80 goals against average, 4 goals against, and 5 full games with even a tiny bit of overtime in there, and 976 save percentage over 5 games. That's what pumped up. And that's 5 out of 25 games, right? So it's really brought his save percentage from 890 something all the way up over 910. So he's been red hot, and he's been sticking it to the critics. Like you in particular said a couple times earlier in the season, you really hoped that he'd get around to doing it at some point, but it sure seemed to be taking its sweet time. But here we are in April, and he's sticking it to the critics. So I guess all we critics can say is, nice turnaround, Mike. We weren't sure it was going to happen this time, but he's got it going on at the moment. Now the question is, how long can he carry it on?
Well, here I have to give credit to the fans, Bruce. I was mentioning to my son that we had done this poll a few weeks ago, and they're like 94% wanted to send him to Bakersfield, and he said, "Well, that's probably what fired Mike Smith up." And I'm guessing that's probably true. So you got to hand it to the Cult of Hockey fans who took that poll.
Yes, absolutely.
They fueled that fire. They were the fuel rod that got that nuclear reactor going, and it's going. It's going. Well, Bruce, I got to head out. I got to
spend time with your boy. Yeah,
exactly. So I appreciate you rushing through this a little bit, and I want to thanks for talking tonight.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone.
And in the meantime, and in between times, this has been another edition of the Cult of Hockey podcast.